Sayonara there, or Sayonara drops off the field, that is going to be a clean sweep for Noli Secunda. That's going to push Noli into the winner's bracket, and Fidelis Constance is going to be into elimination matches starting next weekend. And with that, we're going to send you back for some more ads, and then we'll be back very soon for our next match, Surely You're Joking versus Almost Awesome.
You want to stay up to date on the market? You spend most of your time blowing stuff up, but you want to know why clicks are so damn high? Then watch EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. EVE Talk with me, the Lone Wolf, every Saturday, only on YouTube.
Have sort of a poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership. Poisonous leadership.
Oh no, I bombed.
You bombed us.
So
I'm sorry, guys.
September 13th, the eve online gaming event. Hashtag _NT. Be there or be a douchebag.
hello and welcome back, everyone. This is CCP Fozzie, joined by Sir Squeebles once again for Surely You're Joking versus Almost Awesome, this next match in the 12th Alliance tournament. Two amazingly named teams. And Surely You're Joking is not joking around with these Orthruses. They have brought two Sleipnirs, a Scimitar, triple Orthruses, triple Worm, triple Tristan. I'm not sure how well this setup is going to work, but I love it either way. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Almost Awesome, Sir Squeebles?
Sure. Well, one thing about their team, if I know them like I think I know them, there's definitely a Sino on one of those Sleipnirs, so we'll see that play out. We're looking at 3 Gilas, a Basilisk, a Myrmidon, and another Myrmidon, which is interesting. We haven't really seen multiple T1 BCs in any of the fleets so far, so new stuff coming out, but I worry about their tank on those T1 BC hulls.
Especially shield tanked.
Right, and they're running with 3 Worms, which we've seen have worked really, really well. 1 Mollusk, which is a good choice, a Tyrannus, and a Hyena, which is also a great ship to have.
So we're a couple of seconds away from the match starting, but just it's worth noting that although you don't see any bans on your screen, there were actually bans in this match. The Surely You're Joking team banned the Ishtar and the Eos, and Almost Awesome banned out Proteus and Aneros. So those bans did apply, even though they didn't show up in Crest or on the screen, and the match has now begun. So we're going to be seeing a bunch of drones get dropped. It looks like hammerheads, for the most part, being dropped by the Almost Awesome team.
And the DPS is going to move just as fast as the ships in this particular match. So we'll have to see. These Orthruses obviously ideally picked for their pointing capabilities at long range. We'll see if they're using those defensively to try and keep things away from tackling the Gilas, the Sleipnirs, or I more imagine they're going to use them to try and lock down one of these Gilas early so that they can really lay that DPS on.
So I'm seeing cap transfers on the Almost Awesome team. They've got cap transfers going from one of the Myrmidons to the Basilisk and back. It looks like they may be doing some kind of cap circle chain in order to keep the cap and the Basilisk going, but we'll see how that goes once they start getting under actual damage pressure.
It's worth noting most of these Tinker setups, or even if you want to call this like a pseudo-Tinker, hybrid Tinker, something along those lines, they're fueling capacitor to an XII ASB so that you can get those initial burst reps off without the cap. And while a Bazzi would be a great thing to fuel a Myrmidon, he can only have 1 cap transfer. So if that's really what they're banking on, this Bazzi pilot is going to have to be really on top of his game to get the right cap to the right Myrm, and I hope they have a lot of hardeners fit.
So both teams have shot some drones actually to start. The Surely You're Joking team has cleared off the initial waves of medium drones that came at them, and they're also taking some damage to the Sleipnir of Kevin Smith there, but it's holding on just fine and not in too much trouble.
And my question now for this team is, why did you bring Sleipnirs if you're going to sit them in the back? Why are the Sleipnirs not going in? I mean, unless they're artillery, and I really don't think they are, what are they hoping to do from that range, and why are they not committing to this fight?
I'm honestly not sure what the reasoning behind that is. We'll see. They are sitting quite a ways away here. I'll get a quick look in at we see there a worm off the field. So the Surely You're Joking team was able to clear a worm out under the reps, but it looks like they're about to lose one of their own. There we go.
They did trade worms.
One.
And a lot of these worms, I mean, for the people that are interested in a more typical frigate fight, you look at things like Inyos as high DPS, but man, these worms can put out some DPS with the rebalance. So you're looking at potentially 300 plus DPS coming off these worms with augmented drones. And now this Sleipnir of Surely You're Joking is just getting melted by these Gila drones.
Yes, yeah, he's dropping very quickly. The Gila is, of course, able to deal a lot of damage with both missiles and with drones, and there he goes off the field. Almost awesome that getting the first big ship off the field, that's definitely a very good start from them. As we also see a smart bomb on one of these Gilas. It's blowing up smart bombs to try to clear off the drones. Smart bombs are something we haven't seen probably as much use of in this tournament yet as we would expect, because there's been a lot of mobile drones, a lot of heavy drones, medium drones, and these smart bombs do a great job of clearing them off.
So now they're in a position where they've lost their logistics, and they are taking heavy damage from the Gila drones onto Orthruses, which don't have a resist bonus. I mean, their tank is nothing to laugh at, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to survive that much DPS.
I mean, the Orthrus of Get Blazed Wolf is dropping very quickly through structure and is now gone. And meanwhile, the primary, for sure you're joking, the Gila of General Halt is holding on just fine. It's taking some damage, but getting good reps in from the Basilisk.
And with the Gila unbanned, I do agree with you on the limited usage of smart bombs being kind of interesting, especially with the drone-heavy metas. But if you've left the Gila open, I think probably they were expecting, surely you're joking, to also field Gilas. That's sort of the assumption with how they're balanced right now, and that's what we've seen in earlier matches. But right now, the frigate wing just getting melted from surely you're joking, and they're left essentially with 2 Sleipnirs and 2 Orthrus for damage. And on the resist bonus tolls of the Gila or the T2 resist of the Bazzi, I don't think that's a great outlook for them.
No, it definitely isn't. The one Gila has now dropped for almost awesome. So that is a significant chunk of damage off the field. And we're seeing now the Basilisk taking a ton of damage. That Basilisk is boosting back, but he has the Sleipnirs on top of them. And I have to wonder, again, like you mentioned before, why it took the Sleipnirs so long to get involved in this fight. But now that they're doing a great job.
Yeah, that standoff would be understandable if both teams had equal damage projection, but clearly not the case. I mean, the Orthrus are going to be able to apply DPS across the gap that was between the teams on Warpin, but those Sleipnirs have got to be pretty much holding your hand to really apply maximum DPS, and they are now. But sitting back, were they maybe just waiting for the Gila drones to commit and see if they could kite that DPS, or was that a tactical mistake? I think I would rather have seen the Sleipnirs go right on in if I was surely you're joking.
I think you're right, and I think that's being proved out now because they have gone in and suddenly they're winning this fight. They managed to kill another Gila. The Basilisk is down, and meanwhile the Sleipnir that's being primary of Kevin Smith there is holding on pretty well.
I'm trying to see what drones they have out on these Gilas. I do see a set of ogres. That's obviously from the Myrmidons. So they have several ogres out applying damage, and those are going to hurt, especially on a shield. Looks like
primarily acolytes.
So they're going to be really burning through the Sleipnir. You can see it now, and I haven't. Okay, I do just see a shield boost from Kelvin. They're rather small. I can't tell if that's just because of the drone volley, but ideally he'd have an XLASB, and if he can just get through those charges to trade for this Gila, they'll be in good shape, and he has survived. Yeah,
he's definitely going to hold on until the Gila dies, at least. And if the Gila DPS drops off the field, no, I don't think he's going to be able to keep himself alive the whole way. He still has the Myrmidons on him and 2 Worms, which do a not insignificant amount of damage.
Interestingly, though, it depends on how the tackle is spread. I mean, if you're looking at Shield Myrms, the Shield Myrms are not likely to have Scram Web. They might have one or the other. If Kelvin doesn't want to commit, he can pull range, but he looks like he's going ham. He's going to take on the trophy today. He's going to take down this Myrm, and that's a fine trade. They're looking now at 2 Orthrus and 1 Sleipnir. That is plenty of damage to take down a T1 BC. No matter how it's tanked, there's no logistics, and maybe links fitted on that first Myrm will be cleared off and reduce the tank of Tauren in the Myrmidon.
Yep, it's very possible. Now, with that Myrmidon off the field, it is just 1 Myrmidon and 2 Worms versus a Sleipnir, 2 Orthruses, and 3 Tristans. This is definitely a match going the way of Surely You're Joking. It looked kind of bad for them right at the beginning there when they lost the Simi, when they lost that first Orthrus. But the Sleipnirs got in there and basically just won the match. Did a really great job of applying the damage with those autocannons at close range.
Yeah, this is one of those matches that surely you're joking on comms. I'm sure he's going to be excited, but they'll also be happy to talk about what they did wrong. At first, it looked like it was going to be kind of a grim follow-up discussion, but they should be excited. And I mean, they really did commit to the fight. As soon as they saw it going the wrong way, they put those Sleipnirs in there. They did what they could. And I think they were surprised to see how quickly the Gilas went down. So while I would have liked to have seen them pull the trigger on that sooner, it's good that they did it at all and won them the match. If they had played more defensively and not really gotten that DPS all the way in there, it would have probably gone a different way.
Yeah, and the choice of the Orthruses are definitely interesting. These are rapid light missile Orthruses. They do a lot of damage to small targets. Most teams have been preferring Helas. Helas, of course, were not banned in this match because almost Awesome is using them. But Sure They're Joking decided to use the faster, longer range Orthruses instead. And it'll be interesting to see whether that's something that people continue to do through the tournament or if they focus more on the Hela.
Just one small note about the drones there from from the Almost Awesome team. Their ticker is throwing me off, but they're using T2 drones. And the Alliance tournament, given how rare it is, you see a lot of money put in. You're typically seeing augmented drones fielded at great expense for the additional damage. They didn't have them there. They just had T2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, augmented drones are very expensive, but yeah, a lot of teams have been pulling out the extra cash to get the higher-end drones because they both do more damage and they also have a lot more hit points. So that is the end of that match. We're going to now send you back to the studio for some ads, and then we'll be back very soon for another really anticipated match, CVA versus Red Alliance, the battle of two really, really old and venerable alliances in EVE.
In EVE, the only thing worth more than ISK is trust. This October 4th in Amsterdam, EVE is real.